Hello, everyone, and welcome to the third At the Table pitch competition, where 5 libraries will have the opportunity to showcase their ideas on how they support economic development, job creation, entrepreneurship, equity in practice, innovation, and more. Thanks to everyone for being here today. We're excited about today's event, and we certainly appreciate the time and energy it took for everyone to put the materials together to be here. Today's event is brought to you by Entrepreneurship and Libraries Conference, also known as ELC. ELC hosts free conferences and workshops on how libraries support entrepreneurship in their communities and on their campus. The ELC is for and by information professionals who support and believe in the power of inquiry and information to transform lives and support entrepreneurial endeavors. We have a special thank you today for our EBSCO and ALA sponsors. So for EBSCO, Duncan Smith, we'd like to thank you, and our American Library Association, Libraries Build Businesses. Also, we'd like to thank you for sponsoring our pitch competition. Duncan, we invite you as Chief Strategist for Public Libraries to start us off with a brief word.
Thank you, Teresa. First of all, I just want to say I'm very excited about this being the 3rd year of At the Table. When we started this several years ago, 3 years ago, I never thought we would get to 3. So I'm looking forward to today's event. Each one has had its own special flavor and great benefit. And I'm looking forward to next year's as well. So thank you for letting us be a part of this great day.
Absolutely. Well said, Duncan, and thank you. And Megan Janicki, Deputy Director of Public Policy and Advocacy for the American Library Association. Thank you, Megan, to you and your team for being a sponsor. Please share a brief word with us.
Thank you, Teresa. I just wanted to also thank ELC and everyone here. I'm really excited to be a part of the pitch competition this year and have been able to be part of the committee to see kind of everything through. We definitely see this at Libraries Build Business as a really important way to sustain our investment in this work and to help libraries grow in the ways that they advance equity and support aspiring and existing entrepreneurs. So I'm really excited about the innovations that we'll hear today, and thank everyone for the opportunity. And I will go ahead and keep going here. And I'd like to thank Jen Hensel. We give the ELC committee, we give our appreciation to Jen Hensel, the founder of EllaPitch, for providing one-on-one consultations with each library on their pitch. I'll post her LinkedIn in the chat in just a moment, or maybe Steve's doing that. And I would also like to thank the entire pitch team. It was a committee effort to get all of us here, and the names are here, so I will read those off. So Kelly Forkenbrock, Celia Ross, Celine Garreau-Brennan, Hadiza Saadu, Dr. Layli Saifi, Jen Wilhelm, Gita Halley, LaMonica Wiggins, Maria Freed, Teresa Pfeiffer, Orlando Duffus, Andrea Lewandowski, Rashida Scott Blades, Duncan Smith, and then the 3 co-chairs this year, myself, Angel Truesdale, and Steve Kramer. So thanks everyone for being a part of this. I think Layli is next.
Thank you, Megan. Even though we have this diverse planning group, ELC programming is officially a service of BLNC, Business Librarianship in North Carolina, is section of the North Carolina Library Association. Our code of conduct reminder, we have an ELC code of conduct. If you would like to read more, click on the link in the chat box. So I will just read 2 sentences. Each ELC participant has the right to learn, network, and socialize in an environment of mutual respect and professionalism, free from harassment, discrimination, and retaliation. Creating such an environment is a shared responsibility of everyone involved in ELC events. So our ELC Zoom housekeeping, I'm just, yeah. During the speaker talks, please keep yourself muted. The co-host will mute attendees whose microphones are contributing background noise. And please keep your video off unless you would like to turn it on when asking a question verbally. Comments and questions are welcome in the chat box at any time. However, during the open discussions, please feel free to leave your microphones or videos on if you would like. All sessions except the concluding discussion will be recorded. If Zoom hacked, we will shut down the session and email you a new Zoom link immediately. Thank you so much for being with us. So over to you, Hadiza.
Thank you. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce our judges today. First, we have Martha Larson, Director of the Small Business Center at the Forsyth Technical Community College. Alan Younger, Senior Director of Programs at the North Carolina IDEA Foundation. Janet McRae, Director of Economic Development for Miami County, Kansas. And so just to get into our rules today, each of our 5 finalists will have 5 minutes to pitch their ideas. And so to minimize disruptions during the pitches, we ask that you please stay on mute and turn your video off. Also, make sure to save your questions until the end when we'll have the open floor for Q&A. You'll then have the opportunity to vote for your favorite pitch at the end of the event, with the winner receiving $1,000. We ask that audience members who are employed by the 5 libraries represented in the pitch do not participate in the Audience Choice Award. That would be unfair to the smaller libraries that compete today. So make sure to stay tuned as the winners will be announced later in the program. And so without further ado, let's begin with the pitch presentations. First off, we have Emily Tobin from West Bloomfield Township Public Library, Michigan. And this pitch is called Community Business Works.
So can everybody hear me? So I am Emily Tobin. I'm the Community Engagement Librarian at the West Bloomfield Township Public Library. West Bloomfield Township is a suburb of Detroit, Michigan, located in Oakland County, approximately 15 miles north of Detroit. We are a bedroom community covering approximately 31 square miles, of which 3.9 square miles is water. The area has nearly 600 acres of public parkland with multiple lakes and trails. It is rich in outdoor recreational activities, and the community is an active one. Despite a 13% African-American population and a 9% Asian American population, few minority businesses exist. 1,480 self-employed total employer businesses in West Bloomfield, only 197 are minority owned, 334 are women owned. On average, the West Bloomfield resident commutes 27 miles to their place of employment. These facts show potential for growth in the community and to grow local businesses and create employment opportunities in our own backyard. In addressing a need in the community, we found that there is a huge educational gap for startups and founders. Although there is networking support and a chance to connect via the chamber, there is a large lack of entrepreneurial support for those just getting started and for those who are trying to make their ideas tangible. The community lacks structured support for entrepreneurs and new business owners. The library is well positioned to deliver that support. By offering a structured workshop setting, the library will showcase its resources, provide networking opportunities, and offer meaningful assistance to this emerging segment of our population. So how can we do that? How can the library help our entrepreneurs? So our library worked with a graduate student from the University of Michigan to develop a community needs assessment, which we implemented this past winter in the form of a survey and small focus groups. And we learned what our patrons would like to see from the library. Young professionals want the library to support their careers across their lifetime. People want to expand their worlds and be connected to others. The library can serve as a community center place for intergenerational and intercultural learning. And users expect increased convenience and access to meeting space. So how can we build on existing resources and partners? Using library and township resources to help new and existing small business owners. These resources can include local help, such as all of the reference solutions and equipment at the library, the expertise of the Commerce for networking, the Chamber of Commerce for networking and promotional opportunities, CCTV for local business spotlights, Parks and Rec to expand their financial planning series, and statewide we have the MEDC, which provides an avenue for funding and support. Taking a page out of the ALA Build Library Playbook, we expand on those partnerships and resources that we saw in the previous slide by taking on one of the key takeaways from this amazing resource. By building and expanding on programs. It offers ways to build upon business partnerships within the community, such as parks in the chamber. We can take the library resources to the next level by combining them with expert advice from established business professionals in the community. The library can provide attendees a toolkit as well as a support network to refer back to on their startup journey. So our pitch is a 6-week business startup for early founders. Over the course of 6 weeks, the library would provide a 1-hour workshop with local business leaders and aspiring entrepreneurs, providing both instruction and the opportunity to network. So topics would include how to start a business, doing business with the township, building business plans, marketing, grants and funding for minorities, library resources for small businesses. We show here a conservative budget, but effective for our Community Business Works Breakfast Series, noting the line about a book on the weekly topic so that each week the people would get a book on the specific topic of the week, and they would be able to build their library. So they would have something to refer to in a toolkit as they're going forward on their journey. So to wrap up, West Bloomfield is a bedroom community, but we are growing. We have entrepreneurs and young professionals in our area that are looking to plant roots here, and we could really use your help in getting them started. Thank you.
Thank you. Up next, we have Hillary Peppers from the St. Louis County Library. And this pitch, hello, is called Pitch Perfect, Empowering Encore Entrepreneurs.
Oof, you wouldn't know I went through a pandemic. I left myself on mute. All right, everybody can hear me, I take it? All right. Hi, I'm Hillary Peppers from the St. Louis County Library, and I am so excited to talk about Pitch Perfect, Empowering Encore Entrepreneurs. This is a program that comes out of the fact that our reference department fields over 400 requests a year for small business resource help, one-on-one meetings with librarians. One of the things that we've noticed in the last few years is that there's been a serious uptick in requests from Encore entrepreneurs or small business owners over the age of 55. So what's happening nationwide is pretty similar to what we see here in St. Louis. Older business owners are at a much higher risk for depleting their retirement savings just to survive economic downswings. Entrepreneurs of color are at an even greater risk. The pandemic exacerbated this problem because older entrepreneurs experienced much steeper declines in their business than their younger counterparts. And again, entrepreneurs of color to an even greater degree. So looking at St. Louis County, which is our service area, almost 1 in 3 of our residents are over the age of 55. 35% are non-white. And a 2022 JP Morgan study found that minority small business owners here lack equitable access to capital, to customers, and to the services that are necessary for their businesses to thrive. So despite all of this information and all of these demographics, there is nothing in our area that is specifically designed to help older entrepreneurs succeed. It's an incredible oversight when you consider that this is such a rapidly growing population that is working so much longer and is increasingly self-employed. So what we're hearing from our patrons are that they need funding as to not endanger their retirement, that they want to start a business because they're experiencing ageism in their workplace. And honestly, we hear that one a lot. But the main refrain that we get again and again is that I know I can do this. I just need a clear path. So our solution to this is a pitch contest. So yes, we are pitching a pitch contest at a pitch contest. But so with this, we're going to be able to provide the winner direct access to capital. All participants will have an audience and networking opportunities with key business and community stakeholders. All participants will leave with Chamber of Commerce memberships. And it's really, really important to us that this be a dolphin tank, not a shark tank. Everyone is going to get constructive feedback, positive encouragement. We want this to be a really good experience for everyone involved. But leading up to this is what we call Pitch Perfect. This is our 8-week incubator specifically for 55 plus entrepreneurs. It's going to cover your basics, just what you would expect as far as business plans and legal structure and issues. But what makes this special and unique from any other incubator that's out there are these key factors. We're going to create a very safe space to be really frank and have honest conversations about ageism and how that impacts business. We're going to talk about how to use technology in your business without any assumptions that you necessarily are familiar with it. Funding with retirement in mind. And probably the most important part, how to translate decades of life experience and have those be recognized that they can be actionable business skills. So this curriculum was designed by me, but it has the full support of our partners in the St. Louis business community who are going to help us teach these classes. So I have been in adult services in libraries for 12 years, and I am the one who fields each and every one of those 400 plus small business requests. And it has given me tremendous insight into the gaps and challenges that the older adults in this area really face as they start a new business. I'm also nearing completion on a master's degree in gerontology. And what that has done, it has given me a lot of perspective about how incredibly impactful this kind of tailored curriculum and dedicated space is going to be. So I'll leave you with this thought. A new business started by a 60-year-old is 3 times more likely to succeed than a business started by a 30-year-old. And we're not aware of anything out there that's like this. And it is our goal to create a new standard for business services for older adults. We're hoping other libraries will replicate this. This program right now is slated for spring of 24. With the support of ELA, we'll be able to replicate this again in the fall. And so your support would really help to do a lot to just increase just vital visibility for, again, a rapidly growing but very underserved entrepreneurial population. So thank you again for the platform. Thank you so much for listening to me talk about something I'm really excited about. And good luck to everybody today. Thanks.
Thank you. Next, we have Jennifer Burns of the Central Library of Rochester and Monroe County, New York. And this pitch is called The Accidental Cannabis Czar, Helping Patrons Navigate the Legal Cannabis Industry.
Okay, can everybody hear me? Great. Okay, I am situated. Hi, everyone. My name is Jennifer Burns, and the Business Insight Center helps businesses of all stages, sizes, and sectors start up and grow up. We are also a USPTO designated patent and trademark resource center. So just to give you a timeline here, go back. Cannabis was legalized in New York State in March of 2021. And 50% of all licenses will go to equity applicants as part of the legislation. So the first round of dispensary licenses went to people with marijuana-related convictions. In May of 2021, we secured a grant to offer cannabis programs in partnership with Hemp Lab, which is a local 501c3 organization. And then in May, the City of Rochester formed a cannabis business task force. And we met with cannabis policymakers and business owners throughout the US. And the task force ultimately came to the proclamation that anyone who wants to start a cannabis business should just go to the library and contact Vic. So by default, we are now the cannabis experts. So we had a lot to learn in a very short amount of time. Why are cannabis businesses problematic? They're heavily regulated more than any other type of industry. They don't have access to typical entrepreneur support organizations like SCORE or the SBDC, and they're unable to get bank loans or SBA loans. And the startup costs are estimated at $500,000 to $1 million. And that's a pretty heavy lift for anyone, not to mention equity applicants. Why are cannabis businesses important? It's a $36 billion industry for dispensaries alone. That's nationwide with an annual growth rate of 29%. And the city wants that tax revenue because that tax revenue is going to go to things like funding your libraries. And it's an opportunity for justice-involved individuals to start businesses. Our target market was the legacy community, which is what we refer to people who dealt drugs during Prohibition. And we did significant outreach to them. We established trust in that community. And initially there was some criticism that I didn't look like the legacy community, but if you think there are no white female drug dealers, you are grossly misinformed. Some of our programs and services included the Cannabis Industry Meetup, which was a monthly program. We discussed everything from seed to sale. Our Workforce Development Expo, which took all sectors of cultivation, testing, processing, and talked about the skills you would need to work in those specific types of businesses. Support services event where we matched people to attorneys, accountants, security companies, graphic designers, you name it. We also provided application assistance. And we most recently launched the New York State Library of Cannabis, which is one-stop shopping for all things cannabis in New York. Then we received a grant from a New York State Senator, Senator Cooney, and that was to provide professional services including attorneys and CPAs. And this is all in an effort to remove obstacles to equitable access. This is Willie. He's a member of the legacy community. $50 an hour to give to a CPA or lawyers right now. They're trying to charge $10,000 just to look at your application and go over your paperwork. And it's like, so how are the people who are really justice involved and supposed to be social equity, are they really going to be able to get into it? So Willie's someone I've been working with over the past year, and he has his application in for a dispensary. So I do have some program stats for you to look at, but mostly for outcomes, we don't have any because the Rochester region is currently under injunction due to a lawsuit, and no dispensaries can open in our area until that lawsuit is settled. And the applicants are getting anxious. And so what we're really trying to do is get the ecosystem prepared to launch so they can hit the ground running. And we want them to continue to make progress towards their goals, even though we're in this kind of legal limbo. The next steps would be workforce development, because we need people to work in dispensaries. Not everyone can be a license holder. We are looking at responsible vendor training, which helps people do things like identify fake IDs, and bud tending 101. But we need funding, which is where you guys come in. So it's $2,700 to train 100 individuals for RVT and $3,700 to train 100 bud tenders. And that is our pitch to you to help create this new class of workers, dispensary workers. This is my amazing team without whom nothing much gets done. And I want to thank them for all of their assistance. And I know that was a whirlwind, but questions?
We're saving the questions for the end.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay. And up next, we have Carly Feinberg of Baltimore County Public Library. And this pitch is called Clean Start, Support the Reentry Community, or Supporting the Reentry Community.
Okay. Can everyone see that before I get started? Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Carly Feinberg. I'm the small business consultant at Baltimore County Public Library in Maryland. And I'm here to present to you Clean Start. First, I want to share a little bit of background information. Every year, Baltimore County ranks second in the state of Maryland for number of people returning to a county from state custody. Between 2016 and 2021 alone, that's 4,241 people. As many of you are aware, there's a lot of barriers that exist for these individuals as they try to reintegrate into society. These include, but are not limited to, housing and food insecurity, barriers to healthcare and education, lack of job opportunities, and systemic barriers and bias. Now, with that being said, what is Clean Start? It's an opportunity. Clean Start is a program that will provide formerly incarcerated individuals with the equipment and expertise to run their own cleaning business with zero overhead for a 3-month period. We will provide the business and cleaning training, equipment and cleaning products they'll need, an insurance stipend, as well as community support and mentorship. Interested individuals will first participate in Baltimore County Public Library's Entrepreneur Academy. I'll cover that in the next slide. Then they'll be able to apply for Clean Start. One individual at a time will be able to borrow the equipment and supplies and receive ongoing support both during the program and after it ends. And everyone will also have access to our other business resources as well. Entrepreneur Academy is our flagship business program here at Baltimore County Public Library. It was developed in 2019 in partnership with the Small Business Development Center, a financial nonprofit called the Cash Campaign of Maryland, the SBA, and also the Baltimore City Library System, Enoch Pratt. Entrepreneur Academy essentially covers all the steps leading up to launching a successful business, as you can see listed on the left-hand side. I also wanted to mention that if any individuals do not have a laptop or Wi-Fi, they can borrow both of those things from the library. I'm also excited to share that as of last year, Entrepreneur Academy is now offered entirely in Spanish. This program is called Academia de Emprendedores. So we hope that in this 3-month period, our participants will gain traction and feel inspired and encouraged to continue operating their own cleaning business. However, the business experience they gain can also be applied to a different type of business if they think a different industry is more aligned with their skills and interests. And also, if they find that business ownership is not for them, because it's not for everyone, they'll have the certifications to work for an existing cleaning company. The people we're trying to reach include sentenced inmates on the home detention program, as well as sentenced individuals leaving the detention center and looking for employment. This is our budget overview. Our full budget's a lot longer, but it will cover cleaning equipment, cleaning products, Clean Smart University, which I'll cover shortly, as well as insurance coverage. We were going to initially have our participants cover insurance for themselves. However, after speaking with 2 formerly incarcerated individuals, we came to realize that these individuals have a lot of costs to cover as they reestablish themselves, and insurance might be a barrier for them to participate. So that's why we want to provide a stipend in order to remove that barrier. CleanSmart University is a subscription-based online platform that specifically provides cleaning training videos. So you can see on the left-hand side all different types of cleaning support. We not only want our participants to feel confident on the business side of things, but of course on the cleaning side of things as well. We have a lot of collaborators that we've been working with to develop Clean Start. The one I really wanted to highlight is Lamont Bell. He is a formerly incarcerated individual that has since started Honorable Cleaning LLC. He was the first person I reached out to, and he's given me a lot of feedback and suggestions on developing Clean Start. And he also helped us develop our list of equipment and cleaning products that we'll need to make this possible. We will own the equipment going forward, so that will be really beneficial. But also, the Department of Economic and Workforce Development said they'd look into whether they might be able to cover the cost of insurance in the future for us, which would be great. And Morgan State, a well-known HBCU, offers $2,000 micro grants to organizations that support formerly incarcerated individuals. So in the future, we could apply for that as well to continue Clean Smart University, fix the equipment, etc. A call to action, if anyone knows any national organizations, or if you're local to Maryland, any local organizations that could help us develop and launch this program, please reach out to me. And why I'm equipped to help start this program? Well, my background is in corporate innovation and entrepreneurship. I've been attending the Baltimore County Reentry Advisory Council meetings for the last year, and I actually presented Clean Start to them last month and received a lot of positive feedback. And I also have experience developing and launching programs. Baltimore County Public Library believes formerly incarcerated individuals deserve to have a clean start. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. And our last pitch is Matt McNally of the Las Vegas Clark County Library District in Nevada. And this pitch is called Teen Tycoons.
Great. Hello, everyone. Just doing a quick audio check. Hopefully everyone has me here. Okay, great. Good afternoon. The Las Vegas Clark County Library District seeks support of $5,000 to help turn teen hobbies into a startup business through a pilot program called Teen Tycoons. Now, a recent study by Crowdfund Capital Advisors ranked Las Vegas as the top early stage tech startup city in the entire United States. Las Vegas beat out up and coming tech hubs such as Austin, Wilmington, Seattle, and Atlanta. And this aligns with the initiative to diversify the state's economy. But we must invest in the future workforce for us to be successful. The Library District is well positioned to develop teen interest in creativity, ingenuity, and business acumen. I'm Matt McNally, Community Engagement Director, and I'm honored to present our teen business startup competition, Teen Tycoons. Our library district is comprised of 25 branches. We cover about 8,000 square miles, and we serve about 1.7 million people in Southern Nevada. We operate 4 state-of-the-art teen tech labs. Now, despite Southern Nevada's thriving economy, there are almost 46,000 young adults ages 16 to 24 who are considered disconnected youth. This means that they're not enrolled in school or working a job. Nevada unemployment rates for this age group are higher than any other age group in the state, and it's even higher among minority populations who have access to fewer resources. Our Teen Tycoons program will target youth living in neighborhoods surrounding the Clark County Library. This is a community that is largely comprised of working class, lower income, and recent American immigrants or refugees seeking economic mobility opportunities for their children and themselves. Teens will be recruited from those who frequent the library and through a marketing campaign to nearby schools and through community partners. Now, teen entrepreneurs ages 12 to 18 will have the opportunity to work individually or in groups with business mentors to develop a business idea, create a business plan, and engineer a prototype. The library district expects 15 to 20 business submissions. Next, teens will competitively pitch their concept to a panel of judges in an attempt to receive funding to help defray their startup costs. These business pitches will be free and open for the public to attend, and each winner will be paired with a specialized mentor to complete the creation of their business. So teens are encouraged to use technology resources in our teen tech centers to create their products. Sneaker design, sewing, and music production are just a few examples of projects that could be turned into a business. And some of our teen tech spaces are equipped with a professional recording studio or video production green screen and audio editing equipment to support them. Teens might also use digital cameras to create a business for skateboard design or an iMac to edit music. Raspberry Pis, drones, Littlebits, or Ozabots can support robot design. And for teens interested in crafting, each center provides knitting machines and beads for unlimited possibilities of creation. Now, 3D and large format printers can support photography and art, while specialized software platforms support video game and graphic design. Drones and virtual reality also support ingenuity. Teen Tycoons will have access to all equipment currently offered. A key piece of the project is having the right mentors involved from expert business leaders in our community. 3-time Small Business Award winner Shondell Newsom is committed to lead this voluntary group in partnership with the library. Mr. Newsom has over 20 years of experience mentoring thousands of people and conducting small business workshops and seminars and speaking events all throughout the world. At the age of 13, Shondell started his first small business, which he credits to keeping him out of street life. He wishes to pay that forward with a commitment to Teen Tycoons. 100% of grant funding received from American Libraries Association, Libraries Build Business, and EBSCO will go directly to support the selected teen businesses. Should the pilot program prove successful, the Library District is committed to expand the program with long-term operating funds. At the conclusion of the pilot, teens will be surveyed to gauge success, future interest, and potential improvements with the program. Help us develop future business leaders, address the technology workforce gap in our economy, further activate existing library spaces, and inspire the next generation of Teen Tycoon business leaders. Thank you.
Thank you. And that wraps up each of our pitches. I want to thank each of our presenters for presenting really well thought out presentations. Good luck to you all. I want to pass the torch off now to Angel, who is going to open up a moderated discussion.
Thank you, Hadiza. So I want to welcome Celine and Kelly, who will now start a moderated discussion while our judges deliberate. So let's see. We have our two. Awesome. So thanks, everyone.
Hi, everyone. My name is Celine Garreau-Brennan, and my pronouns are she, her, hers. And I'm joined today with my colleague, Kelly. I'll let her introduce herself, too.
Great. Thanks, Celine. Hi, I'm Kelly Forkenbrock. My pronouns are she, her, and I am the public services librarian at North Liberty Library here in North Liberty, Iowa. And I am a soon-to-be graduate of with a master's of the school at the School of Library Information and Sciences here at the University of Iowa. So we are so happy to be here. Celine, I can share screen unless you want to share screen.
Awesome. I was just trying, and it looks like my mine's deactivated. So just send a quick message to Angel to get us up and running for that. But we've got a series of questions on a Jamboard that you're so welcome to use in terms of that. I'm just going to try again. It looks like I am good to go. So I'm going to start screen sharing here. So what we're going to do as well, and Kelly, if I can just get you to let me know to make sure that you are seeing my screen in terms of this.
I am. Absolutely.
Awesome. Excellent. So we've got a Jamboard here, and we've got a few more serious questions. But before we want to jump into the serious questions, we've got a fun one as an icebreaker for you. And that fun one is really, who would you like to see on a read poster? And I'm going to drop this link to the Jamboard in the chat right here. So you should all be able to participate.
All right. So
I'm just
hopefully,
here.
most of you remember Read posters. I think a few of them are still around these days with more up and coming celebrities. But I think the two we have listed here, LL Cool J and David Bowie, those were definitely from my era, which is being an 80s child, 90s teen. So definitely want to hear who else. Ooh, Lizzo, that's definitely a good one. She has had quite a year connecting with the ALA and connecting with Carla Hayden at the ALA. So very awesome. I mean, Library of Congress. So yes, love that answer.
And I saw a couple Pedro Pascals too, which is excellent, just wonderful. And I also like the Lizzo, and I'm seeing Viola Davis, Taylor Swift. Yeah, these are great.
Very cool.
These are really fun. Idris Elba. If anyone doesn't have access to the Jamboard either, please go ahead and you can definitely, someone Canadian I'm seeing.
Yes, good.
They're great. If anyone wants to put this in the chat instead, you're welcome to do so as well. And we can always put that in there for you too. Tori Amos.
Love
that'd be real fun. Kiki Palmer. Yeah. These are great. Jeremy Strong.
Yes, Succession.
Yeah.
I love Jeremy Strong. I love Succession.
I still haven't watched it yet. That's my confession.
Oh, it is so good. It's the last season, so you got like 5 more seasons more to watch.
I love binging once it's all done too.
And I see Kiki Palmer. She looked amazing at the Met Gala, if anybody's into fashion and celebrity stuff like that. And she looked so amazing. So yes, Kiki Palmer, also a Chicago native like me.
I'm seeing Jason Reynolds too, Michelle Zauner from Japanese Breakfast, Elliot Page.
Good one there, great. Yes.
Judy Blume. I wonder if Judy Blume already has one actually.
Yeah. If not, it's definitely long overdue.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Okay, I see someone writing Jennifer Coolidge, which I think would be amazing as well. She's being honored at the MTV TV and Movie Awards this weekend with a Comic Genius Award. So if you're a Jennifer Coolidge fan, tune in for that.
I think that would be hilarious. I think that would be really, really good. Oh, I'm seeing Din Grogu too from The Mandalorian, which would be very cute.
Yes. I mean, characters too. I think that's also, like, we always used to see like characters, not necessarily just athletes and celebrities, but also characters. So that's a good one.
Totally. And I just want to say too, if anyone's having difficulty writing, I just want to reiterate, you can always put it in the chat, or if you want to unmute yourself and say something out loud, or you've got any comments about this, this is kind of a free period. So please feel free to do so.
Ta-Nehisi Coates, absolutely, probably one of the best writers of this generation, hands down. Yes.
Yeah.
Kenan and Kel, definitely a throwback. I hear that there's going to be a Kenan and Kel, a Good Burger 2 movie happening sooner or later. So that would be awesome. Fun fact about Kenan Thompson, he is the longest running SNL actor or actress player in the show, in its show. The show's almost 50-year history.
Yeah, no, that's that would be excellent. I'm seeing Michelle Obama too, Jill Biden. Hannah Waddingham. I might be mispronouncing her.
Oh, is she from Ted Lasso?
Yeah, she's the one who's, I want all her outfits. I just
yes, the boss lady. Yes, I love her.
Oh, Catherine O'Hara. I feel like
Catherine O'Hara
have one already. I feel like she might have one. If there's anyone who wants to fact check that and do a quick Google and take a look, but I feel like Catherine O'Hara has one. I feel like that's the thing. Well, it seems like we've got a real full page here. My thought is maybe we can move on to our next question here, unless there's any final folks who want to add something in there. We can always go back. You can I'm seeing Annie Murphy too.
Yeah,
absolutely. And Daniel Levy, both from Schitt's Creek. Yeah, that'd be great. Okay, so let's move on. You've just seen now that that we've had a little nice icebreaker. We're just wondering, what piece of advice would you give to next year's participants in terms of this? So that is something that those who have participated today or those watching today might have some real great pieces of advice that you would give to next year's participants in the pitch competition. What a tongue twister there.
Well, one thing that I've seen from a few of the pitches, not only in this competition, this year's competition, but in years past, is really, talking about the team members who may not be actively participating in the pitch event, but are still a big part of the team that's working on the initiative. So really talking about the team members, the team behind the team, and really big upping and platforming those who are on the team with you. So that's a piece of advice that I would give to participants. Let's keep that trend going.
Yeah, I think that's such a great point, Kelly. And I just wrote it down there because I think
Thank you.
that's something that we like behind every project, you've got usually a lot of other people collaborating and working with you. And that's something I really saw in a lot of these pitches today, so much collaboration, and that in itself takes a lot of work, I know.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm really impressed in seeing that.
Yeah, I think that's something you and I are starting to realize too. We just to let the audience know, Celine and I are the co-chairs for the fall 2023 ELC event that we're planning. And so we're just starting to get our team together, our planning team, and really kind of co-mingling and getting those schedules together. Yeah, it's a lot of hard work working with a team, but the product is so good after working with a team, I think.
Yeah, and that, I mean, the scheduling in itself, I feel like that's always such a huge thing. I'm just seeing another comment here that I think, and once again, I want to welcome and invite people to put things in the chat if you don't want to put them in the Jamboard, or unmute yourselves if that's something you want to do. But I also want to say colorful slides today was great. And I think we saw some really, really excellent work going into slides and really being intentional with the colors you're using, really being intentional with the styles you're using. And I saw some real great styles here.
I think the slides, they help tell the story when they're very expressive and creative. So really using those slides, not as just talking points to remind yourself during your presentation, but also really using that as a part to tell your story. Okay, and it looks like I can pop the link in there again. Let's see.
Oh, okay, the link for the Jamboard. Got it.
I'll pop it in there again.
Okay.
Yep, Celine has it up because someone direct messaged me. So it's back up there again if you aren't in there.
Yeah, and I know some people, sometimes you lose connection and then you lose access to this as well. So there it is. I think there's some really great advice, and I just want to, I think we've got Matt McNally in the chat, and we also have a comment about just start, progress over perfection, the end result will materialize. And I'm seeing that too, just right here. Doesn't have to be perfect to work. And I think that's that's great. Like, we're seeing things from all over the spectrum. And so I think that's really, really excellent.
And making use of your pitch coach, I think that is an excellent tool. Sometimes we struggle with asking for help. I know I do. And when we have a resource like someone like a pitch coach, it's so important to take advantage, even if there's advice that you don't think that aligns with your initiative and goal and purpose. Just having that insight is so helpful when you're planning for an event like this.
Totally. And another one I want to pick out too is I think we had some focus on a specific target audience. And that's really, really interesting too. And that's something I'm sure that pitch coach can talk through as well, right? And can kind of help through in terms of that, because I can see that being something that you can iterate on and you can kind of find, right, in terms of that.
Yeah, before I got into librarianship, I spent probably the first 2 decades of my career in some kind of sales or marketing in the private sector. And one thing that is true, you cannot sell to everyone. You have to, just as a fiction writer, you are writing for that one reader, you are selling to that one person, and be okay with that and really embrace that, because once you get to know your specific target audience, you get to know more of the layers of who that audience is, and then you can produce other products and other events and other programming that can align to additional interests they may have.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it means that you, oh, and I'm also seeing the like be specific, that just really, really introduces that as well. And I think there's specificity within the audience, but then also specificity within what you are pitching as well, right? In terms of, I also think, oh, this isn't interesting. I would like to request putting their LinkedIn page in the chat box in terms of that. I don't know if anyone wants to unmute and clarify about that, if you want to write or clarify, but I'm thinking that's just to create a community within this group. And so popping your LinkedIn within the chat, if you want to be, you want to connect with anyone here today. That's kind of what I'm hearing from that comment. If I'm wrong in that, if I'm reading that wrong for any reason, please unmute, please write in to let me know.
But I think LinkedIn is kind of making a bit of a resurgence where people are wanting to connect in the best way possible. And sometimes connecting with LinkedIn when you want to get away from the chatter of other social media platforms and really connect with folks, LinkedIn is still a useful platform. So I keep my LinkedIn even in my email signature, so that folks can reach out to me there as well.
Yeah,
and it looks like Laylee put in the ELC LinkedIn. We have a LinkedIn group for ELC, so please make sure to join that.
That way you can come and participate in all our other events.
Yes.
I'm looking at this here. There's some other ones that I really want to just touch on quickly, and then we can maybe move on to the next question. But I want to say too, there's some really interesting things about continuity planning, right? And funding, and I think that's a really interesting thought about how do you continue this afterwards, right? What do you do once you don't have this funding? And so I think that's a really, really great point. And just talking about funding as well as just really stating how much funding you're asking for right up front, that being really an important tip. And then there's some other ones that I feel like we could group together too, in terms of that personal success stories from participants, and also the idea that participants next year can watch these as well. And if I'm not mistaken, Angel, please correct me, or someone else, please correct me if I'm wrong, but we are recording all of these. And so this will be available to be viewed as well. And please, yes, that'll be on YouTube. Okay, that was what I thought, but I just wanted to confirm. So all of these videos will be on YouTube that you will be able to access and view for years to come. So if there's anyone in the crowd right now who's not sure about this, oh, and I'm seeing someone here, Hillary, is saying watching the prior years was really helpful to me. I'm so glad to hear that, Hillary, too. Well, Kelly, do you think we should move on? I think we've got as much as we'll get in here.
Absolutely.
So let's move on. Okay,
all
so
right,
this.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead. You go ahead.
Okay, so the next one is, what are your observations and reflections when it comes to the pitches you heard today? So this is a little bit more specific on the specific pitches we heard today. Was there anything that stood out? Was there any initiative that you thought, wow, I need to try this at my library or at my organization? Any observations or reflections about the pitches that we heard today?
All were targeting very important groups of people, and I'd agree. And that's a really interesting one when we talk about the target for the pitch, not just the target for the audience as well. I think there was real specificity and intention behind who these projects would be supporting or helping, right? And I thought that was really, really interesting.
I thought one of, for example, to that end, like the pitch about Encore entrepreneurs. Yep, the advantages of being an older entrepreneur. took the words right out of my mouth in the comments, Jana too in the comments. That is such a specific group of entrepreneurs. Typically, when you think of the word entrepreneur, you're thinking of someone youthful, you're thinking of someone who has never been involved in business before, who's really trying, someone who's doing a side hustle. But there is a specific niche of entrepreneurship that belongs to folks who have been working for decades, or maybe have been in small business, stopped their business maybe due to the pandemic or due to some other personal or professional reason, and are trying to get back in the game. It's kind of like non-traditional students, which is a life I'm absolutely in touch with after coming back to grad school after 20 years after my undergrad. And it's such a unique experience. So having an event that speaks directly to older entrepreneurs, I think was very inventive and very insightful of their community.
Yeah, and I think something that's really, really interesting in that is that it challenges my perspective, because I work at a university library, right? And we don't see those entrepreneurs as much, right? Because we're dealing a lot with younger students for the most part as
entrepreneurs. And most of those older entrepreneurs are probably still working 9 to 5, or they may be very new recent retirees. So they tend to have different hours than students. So having an event that really hones in on that specific demographic is so key. So very inventive. Same with the teen tycoons, really getting young people together. And that's something I've learned from watching my colleagues here in a public library, is when we have events specifically for teens and tweens, sometimes it's hard to, attract them and get them in there because they're so plugged in. So having the teen tycoons could be very good. Yes, love that too.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think it's really interesting too when we start talking about different generations. And then I also think another part of this is the intergeneration component of entrepreneurship, where I think we do have that idea of what an entrepreneur looks like, but I think that is really a misnomer in most cases, and shows our bias as well for this. So I think that's really interesting in terms of that.
All right. Well, it looks like the judges are back in the building. This was an awesome activity. I'm glad we had time. We made like 8 questions because we weren't sure how long it was going to take, but thank you guys so much for your participation in this. Any last words, Celine, before we hand it back to the judges?
Thank you. This was delightful. We had some really inventive, wonderful responses to our icebreaker, and some really thoughtful, insightful answers to our other questions. So I just really want to thank you for taking that time and really putting some thought into this. And I'm sure that this is something that we can hand off in terms of these responses to future years of people creating these, just so that way coordinators is the word I'm looking for. So they kind of know what to kind of maybe show other participants and talk about. I'm going to mute myself and turn off my camera, and happy to see the judges back. Thanks so much, Kelly, and thanks everyone.
Thanks all.
Thank you to Celine and Kelly. Before we hear from our judges, we will vote for our Audience Choice Award. And just as a reminder, we ask that audience members employed by the 5 libraries represented in the pitches not participate in the Audience Choice Award. That would be unfair to the smaller libraries that competed today. So I am going to launch the poll for the Audience Award, and we will reveal that after we hear about our top 5 from the judges. So give me a second. All right, everyone should be able to vote. So we have Community Business Works, Pitch Perfect, Empowering Encore Entrepreneurs, The Accidental Cannabis Czar, Helping Patrons Navigate, Clean Start, Supporting the Reentry Community, and then Teen Tycoons. So please vote for your favorite there. All right. We'll give it another 15 minutes. 15 seconds, sorry.
Please. I love you all, but
Yes. All right. Well, everyone, it looks like everyone who wants to vote has voted. So we will come back at the end to announce that Audience Choice Award. So now we would like to hand it over to our judges to talk about our top 5.
Sure. My name is Martha Larson. I'm not only the Small Business Center Director and have been doing that for over 10 years now, but I was a business librarian years ago, which is how I met Steve. So I just want to thank everybody for putting forth these efforts toward economic development. It was a huge part of what I did at the Greensboro Public Library years ago. And I'm so happy to see that these innovative ideas are coming to mind and all the partnerships that are coming out of this, which is the key part of that. So thank you guys very much. So with that being said, we're going to start with our 5th place, which is Emily Tobin with West Bloomfield Township Public Library. Emily, it was great, of course, but we have to, start somewhere. But thank you so much for that presentation. 4th is Matt McNally with Las Vegas Clark County Library District. 3rd is the Jennifer Burns with the Library of Rochester. Thanks very much for that innovative idea. And then 2nd is Carly Feinberg with Baltimore County Public Library Clean Start. I personally like that a lot because I thought it could have a quick and fast impact on the population there. So thank you for that. And then our number 1 was Hillary Peppers, St. Louis County Public Library. You're supposed to be hurraying. Thank you.
Yes, put your congratulations in the chat. I see a lot of clapped hands. Thank you, everyone. So we have a lot of congratulations coming through in the chat. So let's get back to our Audience Choice Award. Let's see who won that extra $1,000. All right, and coming in first place, coming in for our audience award, it is going to be Clean Start, supporting the reentry community. So Baltimore County Public Library and Carly will get an extra $1,000 added on to her total for getting, I believe, 2nd place. So we want to thank everyone for voting for that. We really appreciate that. Let me stop sharing. So we really appreciate everyone coming today. We want to thank everyone. We really hope that you had a great time today watching the pitches. And the Entrepreneurship and Libraries Conference would like to tell you to hold on, watch out for another pitch competition coming up in the future and our other events. So thank you, everyone.